right. Wait, let me just switch to the webcam. Ha. All right, everyone. What's up? Tommy from Dreadlabs. A little bit later than, or a little bit earlier actually than was actually originally scheduled, but this is probably one of the latest live streams I have done in, what is it, like maybe a year. I think the last time I did like live stream this late in CET time was when I still lived with my parents, and that's over 2 years ago, I think. Anyways, what is going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs. Today we are going to do a live stream designing something for the Creatober challenge. If you do not know what the Creatober challenge is, it is a challenge that I made based off the Inktober challenge, if you're familiar with that. If you want to learn more, there is a link down in the description where you can learn all about the challenge. Basically, every day for the whole month of October we have a word, and the idea is that you can design something with this word, but you don't have to necessarily design it. You can also draw, make music, or write a poem, do anything creative, really, whatever you want with that word. And yeah, the goal is to generally just have fun, spark some creativity, find new inspiration, inspire each other. And you know, if you are stuck in like a creative block or whatever, I hope that this can help you, you know, get out of it. And as always, I just like to stress one thing. The main goal here is, like I just said, to have fun, not to burn yourself out or to post something for every day of the month of October. So do not do this just for the algorithm, just for anyone else but yourself, really. So anyways, what's up in the chat? We know Gemini and Neopop. How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a great day. Like always, we're just gonna get started, and if you have any questions regarding whatever I'm doing, if you have any questions regarding anything Dreadlabs related, really, feel free to ask me, and let's have a general good time. And I want to have conversations with you guys. So yeah. So regarding the Creatober challenge, where we left off is I'm a little bit behind myself because I'm really busy with other stuff. I only used these 6 prompts, and so I'm missing well 5 now. So one thing that I really liked was Concrete Hurricane, and just those words behind each other gave me the idea for a really cool punk flyer. So that's what I want to start out with, but I have the whole evening with you guys tonight, so we can do an extra long live stream and see if we can catch up with the Creatober challenge. Hopefully we can, and otherwise let's just see how far we go. Because like I just said, we're doing this for ourselves and not to feed into like an algorithm or whatever. Alright. Been using Paint.net for years, now transitioning to Photoshop. Thanks for helpful videos. Oh, glad I'm able to help, man. I used to work in Paint.net for a long time as well before I started with Photoshop. So it's really cool to hear that's actually still a thing. Alright. So yeah, question for the people in the chat. Have you been joining in on the Creatober challenge? And if so, what is your favorite prompt so far, or what prompt are you really looking forward to? I have a couple of cool ideas. I've actually written them down, you know, just before I actually started the challenge, so that I don't have to sit here for 30 minutes to come up with an idea before I can actually start designing. And actually, I have some really cool ones, but yeah, I think Concrete Hurricane is just a really cool name to start out with. So let's see if we can actually do some punk flyer design or whatever with that. So yeah, shall we just go? Alright, let's open up Photoshop and we'll do an A5 print format. And let's set this to pixels. Alright, so if you do not know what I'm talking about, actually, well, these print flyers back in the day, what people used to do with them is they just like scratched stuff from other magazines and you know, books and whatever, and they made their own very own well, I guess kind of mixed media flyers, you know, so they didn't have to do a lot of work for themselves. They just made a collage basically. Let's see if we can find some references. Yeah, as you can see here. And basically they put that into a photocopier, which resulted in some really, really cool stuff. And so it's mostly kind of these things. And yeah, I was just thinking maybe we can do something like that, right? I would like to do a lot of this analog, but just because it's a live stream, it might be a little bit hard to do that. You know, it might be a little bit hard to do that because I need to drag my camera everywhere and stuff like that. So it might just be something for a video, and we'll try to do this digitally for now. So, Concrete Hurricane. Love the name. Sounds like a punk flyer, or it sounds like a punk band, right? So, actually, I'm going to do this. I want to do the logo in Illustrator. And let's just find like cool photos of a hurricane or something like that. Or maybe I don't want to do that in Illustrator as well. So let's start with the word concrete and hurricane. I'll center these up and put them in all caps. And I kind of have like a font that I really like for it, but I don't know the name, and I'm not sure if it's actually on my computer here or if it's just on my laptop. I hope not, but well, it's similar to this font called Graveblade. Yeah, if you know it. So I'll just leave this here so you know what the idea or the reference is. I think it's on my laptop, sadly, but we'll see what we can do with this. Ooh, this can also be really, really cool. The Ironwood font. We'll outline this, and what I want to do is see if we can warp this into something cool. And the fun part about doing a punk flyer is actually because it's supposed to be punk. Okay, so we need to make this into one object as a compound path, I think. Yeah. So the cool part about the punk flyers is basically it's supposed to be punk. They're not supposed to give a rat's ass about how the flyer is made, which is why they use like copyrighted imagery and stuff like that, you know. And so I kind of want to incorporate that into this design by, you know, not giving too much about the rules. Like, for example, a lot of people always tell you that you're not supposed to use warp effects on typography and stuff. Let's ignore those rules for now because we're punk. Belgian, so of course I have to speak Dutch. Yo, Buurman, what's good? What's good, man? How are you doing? Is it that obvious that I'm Dutch, or is it just, or did you know it already? Because some people are really surprised that I'm Dutch, and other people are like, yeah, you're definitely Dutch sounding. I actually like this a lot. Let's see if we can do some other stuff with this. I kind of want to try it with this font as well and see which one's better, and let you guys choose. So the first thing we do is a bulge in the horizontal way on -40 or something. It's kind of a lot, but we can also just do this. It's a little hack that I learned. So like if the warp is distorting your type, just scale it up, scale it back up, and that kind of helps. Then we just move this part up a little bit, and then we just do the bulge again, but then vertically, and then -20 or something. So yeah, I want to leave it up to you, people in the chat. Which one do you like most, left or right? I'm just gonna do to where I do the outline a little bit. Okay, This kind of reminds me of Guitar Hero for some reason. Well, not for some reason, it's the white outline. It's the white text with the black outline, but... Is it too much Guitar Hero? I think so, right? Yeah, I don't... No, this is too much. Okay, back to these ones. Right? Yeah, I'm kind of leaning to right as well. So let's see what we can do with that. Right, yeah. And let's continue with right. So what I like about this is that we can do... Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm offsetting the whole path twice, so that we have an outline around the outline, like this. And this is really cool, but I want to have this point thing there as well. So I'm just gonna grab this, paste it in place, so I now have a copy, and then I want to reflect it a little bit and see if we can put that over there, I guess, and then just mimic that outline, if that makes sense. What's the name of the font on the right? The font on the left is called Ironwood, and the font on the right is called Graveblade. So I'll just put the names of the fonts in the chat right now. And both of these fonts can be found on Adobe Fonts, by the way. Hi, saludos desde Mexico. Sorry, I think it's pronounced Mexico in Spanish, right? If not, you can yell at me. Anyways, hi, welcome to the stream and the chat. If you don't know, my name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and I pronounce things terribly. So, we have this compound path. Let's just put that to the top. Okay, so this is what we have outline wise, and I'm just gonna go into this group, and I just need this part, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do is make a cutout like this. And then eventually it'll look like this. That's the idea. So yeah, this kind of is weird for the letter E, but it's a little more symmetrical now. What's up, Ula? How are you doing? And this is dope. I like this. Maybe I'll just add like a point to just, you know, I guess to so that it'll match a little bit. Does this work? I'm not sure if this works. The ES could be a little more legible. The ES? Concrete. What do you mean with the ES? Am I just stupid? It's also very likely the case here, but... Oh, the E's! Yeah, I'm stupid. Sorry. Looks like the letter E to me. Yeah, just the font itself, you mean, or the way I worked it. For some reason I thought you were just like speaking Spanish or something. I'm not sure. Let's just remove this as well. think this is better, right? With the gaps. So it's at least a little bit legible, I guess. You ever consider doing online class for people that want to learn how to make logos and stuff? Yeah, I actually do. So the idea is that we have a Patreon channel where we have some exclusive tutorials, and what I want to do in the near future is record tutorials for people who want to learn the very basics. Basically like a Skillshare class as an introduction to for Illustrator and Photoshop and stuff like that. You know, one that I want to do is how to make an album cover from scratch and going over a lot of the Photoshop basics. And then another one is how to make your own logo and stuff like that, and do Illustrator for that. What's up, Nick? How are you doing, man? I do not like that there's a lot of, well, not a lot of negative space here. So let's see how we can fix that. Maybe like this, and then let's just do this without like the guides. So all right. I need a bed for Illustrator. Something that I notice a lot is that a lot of people are either really experienced in Illustrator but not in Photoshop, or the other way around. And that's why I actually did a when I was still in college, I did like a how do you call it? Like a course in LinkedIn Learning. If you're familiar with that, it used to be called lynda.com, but basically there's a lot of courses. One of them I remember really fondly was like it was a course by Tony Harmer, aka the Design Ninja, and basically thanks to him I learned everything that I know in Illustrator. And after that I started watching a course or two courses by Von Glitschka. So if you want to have like, if you want to start learning Illustrator right now and don't want to wait for me to make courses, then I would heavily suggest checking those names out on LinkedIn Learning, because I think the courses are still on there and they are really, really good. And that's basically how I got into Illustrator. So what I did was I had a home trainer at my parents' house. I just went on there and essentially I just started watching Illustrator tutorials while I was like working out. So 2 birds in 1 stone. So Concrete Hurricane. I also kind of want to see, okay, let's look at some reference images, but tornado icon. Okay, I want something similar to, I saw a cool one just now. Is it this one? Okay, so this is one from like an iStock thing, and I don't normally do this, I swear, but I want to kind of see if we can make something similar. So I don't want to steal this icon, but I just want to see if that works or not. So okay, so what I'm going to basically do, can you drop those names in the chat for the course? Yes, let's do that real quick. So one is by Tony Harmer, aka the Design Ninja, and the other one is by Von Glitschka. So these courses are on LinkedIn Learning, but I think both of these guys also have their own YouTube channels, so it might be worth checking out as well. I haven't really checked out their YouTube that much, but I know that it's there, so it might also have a lot of useful information, because yeah, these guys are basically legends in my eyes. Anyways, so let's see if we can like kind of recreate this icon ID thing. So basically I just now have 2 circles, as you can see, and I'm just using one circle in the same color as the background so I can see what it would look like if this would be cut out. It's way faster than, you know, actually using the Pathfinder over and over again. So we'll copy and copy and paste and then drag this to the back. And actually this is kind of already what I had in mind, to be honest. So just making it smaller, send it to the back. Huh. What are your favorite local artists? Ooh, for that I gotta say Pavement Atelier. I've worked with him well once, and he's such a talented guy and I love his way of thinking. We also tend to have very deep conversations together, which I also really like. A super great guy in general. Actually, I'm going to drop his Instagram in the chat if that's possible. I think so. But yeah, check out his work. He has a lot of cool stuff coming up, and something that I really think is cool is that he has a very unique approach to working in, you know, to design or to art in general. So yeah, I would heavily suggest you check him out and chuck him a follow if you want to. For some reason this works way too well. It's actually kind of easy. Let's slope this off a little bit more to the left. Do you know the artist 888 Vampires? I think I know. At least the name rings a bell. Yeah, I've seen that work. I think on Chrome Type or something, maybe. Looking at it now, and then, or maybe someone showed it to me. And Lelieth, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Let's see. Kind of reminds me of like stuff that the Deadshore Hex and Arch are doing. Archfiend, if you know Archfiend. Have you ever worked with screen print? If not, then I think you'd enjoy it. So I did a course in screen printing. I think around the end of 2020, and it was just really fun. And it was so fun actually that I actually bought my screen printing set. Basically, I bought a screen printing set to do textile screen printing, and I really enjoyed it. And it's really fun because actually I have this open office sessions every month. So every last Friday of the month, people can drop by the Dreadlabs office, say hi, and have a drink if they want to. And during that time, we actually we do screen printing t-shirts. So I still want to get better at it, but it's a really fun activity. And I actually plan on screen printing a pair of jeans soon for a video. Probably going to release that video once Creatober is finished, but yeah, it's super fun. It's really nice. One thing I would like to learn more about is Rezo print, if you've ever done that, because that's something that I'm fairly unfamiliar with actually. But every time I see the word Rezo print, it just looks really cool. So yeah, I kind of want to get into that. This actually kind of looks okay. So what I'm gonna do is grab the shape builder tool and start deleting all of these excess shapes, because it's really that simple. Illustrator is really that simple. He said when he just deleted a part of his design. sorry, this is one of those tasks that I cannot do a lot. I need to like also be a little bit quiet when I do some stuff like this sometimes. It's the same when I'm doing like illustration or tracing in while live streaming. I just have to go in focus mode a little bit because I don't want to screw up, but it's actually going quite well. So, question for the people in the chat: what have you been listening to this week? What kind of music? Maybe you discovered a new album or some new artists. I, for one, listened to a couple of new songs by King Gizzard and a Lizard Wizard, and I just found out right before the stream that they are going to be playing live here in my hometown of Tilburg, the Netherlands, which is really, really nice, because I went to a festival last summer where they were supposed to be playing, but then one of the band members got ill and it wasn't able to play, so they had to cancel, and I was really sad about it. But now I'm not anymore, because I can finally see them live next year. And the best part about this is that it's in a concert venue that is about like well, basically a 5-minute walk from my apartment, so that's amazing. Okay, so we have the hurricane, we have the logo. Let's just see if we can do like a cool poster with it. Reason is complicated, yeah. It's always I have no clue how it works actually, but yeah, the screen printing process is just really nice. It just takes a lot of time, but luckily I now have kind of enough room to do it. The only thing that's a little bit difficult for me is the lighting process, because the lighting, I have to do it in my bathroom at home, so I have to take all of my gear home, or I have to leave it overnight or over however much time we have in the studio here. And that's this is an old vault where I'm sitting in now, which I converted into a studio, and that's yeah, I don't really want to. It's not really that well ventilated, so probably wouldn't be that good to to do anything like with like chemicals in here. Okay, so I kind of have this idea, or where I want to have someone's. Oh, this is cool. I want to have this. Okay. Wow. Unsplash never disappoints. Discovered shoes you yesterday. They're fine. Pumpkin Attack on Mommy and Daddy. 6 songs. Weird. How is life going? Life's going pretty well. Burning Sun. Thank you for asking. But yeah, it's been nice. It's a stressful period, but it's going well. And I do have a separate studio room now. So this is basically, I rent out an office and a studio room. So this is the studio room, and like across the hall from there, there's where my office is. Exploring some jungle. Traditional wood block printing, super cool stuff. Carved by the Chinese, only use fucking. Wow, Charles, can you send some pictures of that on the Discord, because that sounds awesome. Listen to Kai Angel. I will. Remind me that by sending me a DM on Instagram right now, or sending it to me on Discord, because otherwise I might forget. So I want to have someone scream and then something to come out of. Like a screaming kid is always cool for a punk flyer. And in just a second, the studio looks amazing, by the way. I hope one day it meetups. Oh, ciao. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's always hard to you know, it's a lot of people have different usernames on YouTube. Anyways, yeah, I would love to have you over here. Liquid Colors by CFCF. We're on the ambient side, nice. Always good to work on some ambient. Cool. I'm actually going to grab a book by Masala Noir, which contains a lot of punk flyers. I'll be back in a second. Just want to have some a little bit of inspiration. Basically, I'll just switch the camera for you. If it's, well, this is the first day that it hasn't been like lagging. But anyways, webcam only. This is a book that contains a ton of fun flyers, which I can find some inspiration for this video, for this live stream. So, reading tons of Junji Ito, started collecting his books. His sense of imagination is out of this world. That sounds really interesting. And I didn't mean that sarcastically, even though it sounded sarcastically. I'm sorry. Anyways, so let's just go back into my screen. See if we can find some other inspiration on here. Right, so looking at this and looking at flyer here, so something that we also kind of need to do is have these like blocks with words on it. If that makes sense. Like, for example, here. Well, let me just switch the camera again. But that's like a very common thing in punk flyers. That's what I meant with the well, the photocopying collages, but essentially, where it says also Sunday, October, Neo Boys, you can actually see what I mean with that, like, you know, that, in here with the words, like it's almost like a, what are they called? Ransom letters, but then they are photocopied, if that makes sense. So yeah. Coffee's finished, so let's get into it. Yo, Dreadlabs, do you have a fun book style feature? Yes, I do, and actually what I want to do is go and make an actual video with my favorite design books and inspiration books, because the last time I did that, it has been over a year. Anyways, a fun book, indie type is a very good book for that, so let me just type it in the chat as well. And let's write some words. Alright, people in the chat, I have a very important task for you. Your job is to make up really cool punk band names that would be from the future. So think of it as, think of like a punk band, and that punk band is from the year 3000 and it's from another planet. What would this punk band be called? Let me know, because I need names. Saturday, wait. Oh my god, and I can actually scroll to, okay, I can, this computer will cease to exist in 2100, but I don't care. Saturday, October 28th. Let's do another font for 28, maybe. Hello. Let's see. Sally and the Cyborgs. Is that an actual name or not? It sounds realistic, at least. Last time I did a video for a punk flyer, I I think I used the punk name generator online, which also resulted in some pretty funny names, but yeah, for now I want to do I want to base it a little bit around the Dreadlabs story world, which is basically a fictional story world if you're not familiar. But and that basically takes place in the future, so that's why I was asking. Just have these squares around like the text, and then you don't really want to have it like the exact same angle, because again, it's punk, they don't really care, and that's also not how these were supposed to be scanned in. So I'm just gonna make these outlines, and then have the text be punched out of these squares like that. So, Chrome poverty still divided. Chrome plus anything future reminds me of an old SpongeBob pretty. What? The year 3000 in SpongeBob? I don't remember that, but Silver Salvia. That sounds really cool. It's almost midnight over here. What time is it in your... Where are you from? I'm from the Netherlands, and it's almost 7 p.m. here right now. So not too bad, I guess. Okay, let's paste all these guys in individually. And while we're at it, let me just make everything invisible, and I'm going to show you guys a method that I use to create punk photos, I guess. So what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna okay, the last time I used the magnetic lasso tool, this completely went wrong, so I hope this now starts working. If you've not seen last stream, I highly recommend getting back, and it's around the beginning, but I was using this tool and it just went completely wrong, so I really hope that the magnetic lasso tool is now forgiving me for whatever I did to it. But because this tool has potential. Oh no, I did well. Okay, so anyways, I made a cutout of this, and it's a little bit janky, so maybe we'll just fix that by doing a box blur of 5, and then still janky, doesn't matter. Anyways, I need to remind myself that it's okay to be janky when you're doing punk flyers, I guess. Anyways, let's first make sure that your foreground and your background color are set to white and black, or black and white. Go to the filter gallery, and we're gonna stack some filters on top of each other, and not with our mask selected, with our original image selected. Almost 11 a.m. Puke in the Saturn alleyway. That is a lovely name for a band. Okay, so I'm just gonna experiment a little bit, but yeah, in the end what you want is the stamp, because this is actually the way that these punk flyers were supposed to be made, I think. So with the stamp effect on this, but something that also works really well is the poster edges. Why is it placed so weird? Okay, a little bit too much, so let's just start with this and remove the dry brush. Poster edges, intensity down, posterization up. And the smoothness, you kind of want to keep it down a little bit. But yeah, I don't really like it this much because it's like ruining the placement of the nails. So let's just go and see what happens if we just use the normal stamp. And this is kind of what I want to see. So, and then we'll just put a big stroke around it. And this is actually different with every single picture that you're going to try this with. So, all right. So what do we have so far? XY0 Delta 4. That's very futuristic. All right. So let me just make a list of all the names. And I kind of want to do something special with it, and I'm gonna write them all down and scan them in maybe. So okay, let's go with Sally and the Cyborgs, Chrome Poverty, Silver Salvia, Puke in the Saturn way. Why not quick selection tool? The quick selection tool for some reason almost never works in my advantage. Like the AI is always just a little bit off, and it's really annoying. And with the magnetic lasso tool, you'll just have a little bit more what is it called? Control. Okay, so these are the names that we have so far. What I want to do first is do a little bit of placement here of like our images and stuff so far. So let's just start with Concrete Hurricane. I want to have that in the top here. Have this at the bottom a little bit. Maybe up the stroke, just a couple of pixels. And the tornado, we'll put that here, and then we just do the date. Why are these so large? It's not necessary. Okay, so in the corner here, then the Concrete Hurricane, we'll put that here. Then here's room for the lineup, I guess. And then we need something here, and that's what I wanted to do. Have like, I don't know. Let's browse the book a little bit. Let's see if we have something cool in there that might help. Some of these are really well done. Ooh, I might know something cool. So, okay. What I'm gonna do is go back to Unsplash. And then Screaming Lady, if that's a thing. Those are ladies, but the ladies aren't screaming. Maybe we want Crying Ladies? Also not really crying that much, but maybe we want Flames. I don't know. We'll do a flame, and let's see if we can do like a collage kind of idea with these two pictures. So let's just hide everything else, and we'll just select the subject of this fire, and we'll select this kid as well. I only now realized that this kid has a Minion t-shirt, and we're gonna put a kid in a Minion t-shirt on a punk flyer, which is pretty cool. But the kid is gonna breathe fire, and that's the whole idea, I guess, with a Minion t-shirt that we're definitely not gonna keep on this flyer, and no one saw that, I hope. And we'll just put this on here and then do a stroke around it. Okay, now it kind of looks like the kid is vomiting, but you gotta ask yourself, is it a bad thing? And let's just ban you from the chat. If I can do that. Alright, so again, like I said, you gotta ask yourself, if a kid is vomiting fire, is it a really bad thing or not? Ooh, what was that? What? The minions here in... This is the stuff of nightmares. What? Is the mask not linked anymore? Oh, okay. Alright, we have screaming kid, vomiting kid, whatever you want to call it. Andromeda a-holes. Nice. I do like that. And I also like the Andromeda reference. That's also definitely going on. How many bands do play in like one evening? I would have just put in the actual word in here, but you know, for the sake of YouTube being, I don't want to get demonetized just for that. If that makes sense. Not very punk of me, I know, but I don't know. So now we have the date, and we need the tornado over here, perhaps, and then we have the mouth with like the. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a piece of paper and I'm gonna write down the lineup names. I'm gonna scan those in, and then we will get to you know, put it on this paper. Do you screen print? I have a screen printing set, yeah. It's actually, I don't know if you can see it if I turn the camera, but it's actually stationed here now. Anyways, let me just grab a piece of paper, and in the meantime you can look at this work in progress, and I will see you guys in a second. starting soon with screen printing. Sick. You're gonna do t-shirts and stuff, or you're gonna do print more like posters and stuff? So I kind of have an idea on what I want to try, but I'm gonna do a couple of tryout thingies that make sense. Let's see if we can actually change the camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I hope it's possible. Does this work? Cameras. Don't mind the messy desk. Huh, this actually works better than I thought. So let's see. What were the names? Sally and the Cyborgs. This kind of works. Ones. So I have these old I have these calligraphy pens, and you know, like usually you're supposed to do like this stuff, but it's actually also, it works pretty well to do this. If you can see that, like this actually works pretty well, I think. So I'm gonna just try and write down the names in that style and then just put them on like the poster. Could you write Never Better? Oh yeah, I can just edit if you want to. Is that like a name of your band or something? Or is that actually an actual band, or? Puke in the Southern Alleyway. Love that name. I kind of want to rewrite Sally and the Cyborgs one more time. Alright. So I'm gonna cut out the top one and then I'm gonna scan this in real quick and I'll be back in a second. Alright. Sorry for the absence and silence, guys. So basically I just scanned in something from my other laptop in my office because there's not a printer in my office right now. Also the camera is still pointing at my, I do not hope it's pointing at my crotch, but I'll just move that in a second. For now, let me just download and drop in the scans of my writing. I got over 10k followers on Instagram, but my salary is $400 per month. Is that not good enough? Well, Todd, it really depends on what you want to do. Are you a graphic designer? And where are you living? And what's like the general rate that you ask for a design? Do you get a lot of designs? And the most important part about pricing and stuff like that is, can you make a living out of it? You gotta ask yourself, can I pay my rent, my groceries and everything with, oh no, not this again. Can I pay my groceries and stuff like that by doing this design thing? So it sounds kind of harsh, but you gotta look at it from a business perspective. And if you cannot make a living by doing this as a job, then you might have to ask more money. If the people come to you, of course. You know, like if you get 20 clients that want to work with you every month, then I would definitely consider asking more. Actually, I have a video on this if you're interested. Okay, so let me actually rasterize this layer, apply the mask, and now we can do this. And I kinda want to make this inverted, so let's just make the screaming kid invisible. All of the white from the background, turn it into a smart object and rasterize that. So now all we have is this black layer. Let's select that, modify that by, and expand that selection by 50 pixels. And we'll turn that into a background. So we have something like this. Gonna check it out tomorrow. Good sleep now. Bye, guys. Have a good night's sleep, man. Lineup. Got this lineup. Oh, I did not mean to start Cinema 4D. almost closed down OBS, and that's not what we want. Alright, so the tornado goes up, I think. Also, I kind of want to have this part here. I want to have this. I want the concrete hurricane thing to have a white background. So like this, and then we can this thing has a white background, I think, right? Yeah. Okay, like that. And the screaming kid goes here, but he goes to the background, so I think mouth. I'm just making words. Okay, so we're kind of almost here composition wise. I feel like it's only a little bit empty in here, so I might just want to change the tornado and put it down here, or do a location there. I think we want to do a location there, and then the lineup can be a little bit smaller. I know it's not that legible, but it's okay. So let's grab our reference material, the book with the punk flyers, and see what that works. So I think so it's all either handwritten or it's like how we did like the time thing, did this thing. So let's just do that, I guess. Hug from Brazil. Thank you so much, Ryan. You get a hug, a virtual hug back from me from the Netherlands. Hope you're doing okay, man. Andromeda slumps. Is that how you spell slump? Slums. It's a slum, I think, right? Slum. Can we do it lighter? I have this kind of neat idea. So this is to replicate a very subtle like double print effect thing. So basically if you just get the top one and you make a very small stroke around it and put a duplicate right behind it, it looks like it has been moving while you're scanning it, if that makes sense. See? So that's the location. And I don't know, it's still kind of like empty in here, and I probably should have. Yeah, I'm gonna do that actually. So under the line, I'm gonna change the lineup. So let me just duplicate those, move them back, so we don't have the smart object anymore. Oh, it's over there. And we're gonna separate all of those lines and then just move them separately. So let's just move this to the top. And because we want to have puke in the, wait, let me just group all of this and put the opacity to 50% so we see a little bit better what we're doing. So we're gonna grab the longest name here. I'm gonna put that at the top because that's where the most space is at, I think. I feel like. What's up, GMDZN? How are you doing? I hope I pronounced that name correctly. Probably not, as always, but hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Ooh, and I kind of have a neat idea for this because we can of course texture this thing, but we can also just print this out in real life and then scan it back in on colored paper. A little bit like here. Stuff like that. Well, this is actually like a very bad stock thing, but like this. We can try that, right? Or do you think, would you prefer me doing it in digitally so you know how to do it yourself? Because I think the most fun part is obviously to try and do it a little bit mixed media wise, but I want to leave that up to you. Should I just do the texturing digitally, or should I just print it out on real paper and rescan it back in? What marker did you use, by the way? Is it a regular Sharpie? No, it's an it's from Pigma. Yeah, Pigma, the brand Pigma, and it's calligraphy pen. So basically they're like those pens that you see that like these classic letters are being written with, like the calligraphy pens. That's literally what I use, but I just like use it in a way that probably every hand lettering person would. Oh, yeah, a calligraphy calligrapher would not be happy with the way I use that, but it's a punk flyer, so we have to do it like we don't have to. We're not supposed to care. So never better. This one was Andromeda Eagles. This is my favorite Creatober livestream so far, I have to say. This is a sign. I've hit a huge creative block and I just wasn't feeling design, but this recommendation has to be it. Oh, you came in by recommendation by YouTube? That's actually awesome, because I'm so glad you found my channel. I hope I have a lot of videos that would probably make you happy and inspire you, but it's also good to hear that YouTube is actually pushing me. Anyways, let me know if you're new to the channel, because if you want to, I can tell you a little bit about it. Sally and the Cyborgs, and then we still have Silver Salvia. Well, I don't know what that means, but I just like that you as the chat contributed to the lineup, this fictional lineup of this punk flyer. So that's what I really missed about live streaming, you know, the interaction between me and the chat. Chrome poverty. Alright, so let's begin with Puke in the Saturn alleyway. Videos helping. Silver Saliva sounds fire. Salvia is a psychedelic drug. Videos helping a lot, thanks. Yeah, glad I'm able to help, man. And I prefer, I used to prefer streaming on YouTube, just because not a lot of people got notifications once I started live streaming, because my audience on YouTube is just a lot bigger than it is on what is it, on Twitch. And honestly, like with all the bots, and I know I sound like a complete grandpa here, but with all the bots and the whatever are they called, the subs and the this and the that's, I've never really been into Twitch, so I just don't know the whole ins and outs of the platform, if that makes sense. And with YouTube, yeah, obviously I've always been on YouTube, So that's just, it was just easier for me. You know, I was already on it, so it's not really like an actual preference, if that makes sense. It's more that I'm just an old person that doesn't know what the hell is going on. Never, well, no. Move the head thing here this way, and now going back. This kind of looks okay, I guess. I'm pretty satisfied with the composition here. Let's just move the screaming kid a little bit, and then do this one up a little bit. Maybe we'll rotate it just a little bit. Once on a festival, this girl did salvia, and I thought I was a bear. Wait. Once on a festival, this girl did salvia, and she thought you were a bear. Wow. If you're into horror movies type, I'm going to experience that in real life. Ooh. Okay, that sounds not. I'm not really into hallucinatic stuff, so that's probably not for me. Hallucinatic. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Anyways, we'll just group this and call this lineup. Digitally, please. I had one person asking me if I could do the texturing digitally, and I think no one was actually wanting to see me doing this in real life. So what I want to do is I want to save doing it in real life for a video, perhaps you know, showing a couple of ways to texture your work in, I don't know, in like a mixed media kind of way. And then we'll just do it for now because it's a live stream and I don't want to have you waiting for me while I'm just going back and forth into the rooms. We'll just do this right here, right now. So for this, let me just see, because I want to actually add some texture into this. And a cool way, so looking at those like stamp filter things, let me just see if I can find a good example. Riding on the toilets or underground clubs, and I dig it. It definitely is one of the inspirations for this. I think you're completely right. So, okay, let me just move my camera so that you can see what I mean. Okay, looking at this, I'm gonna try and see if we can get a really good close-up. You can kind of see the white spots within the larger black parts, if that makes sense, right? So if you go here, you see like these white speckles, I guess, and that's basically like parts where copying the print is, it's where like there's just not enough ink to cover it all completely, if that makes sense. So a way you can try to mimic this is, let me just go back to Photoshop. It's let me just demonstrate with the concrete hurricane here. So the first thing I want to do is let's go back into the smart object. So this is where we have the design, and in this larger black spots we're going to add an inner glow. Not this kind of inner glow, we're just going to go and make it white, and we want to make this really subtle. So let's just make the choke large, and then the size as well. And then you want to kind of play with the range. So with the range, you can kind of see now that the larger light spots here are only appearing at a certain part and not a lot. See that? So that's what you want. Let's save this back up and go to filter gallery. And you can kind of already see that it's, yeah, you know, the gates, and if we turn down the smoothness, it's probably going to work a little bit better. And maybe even if we add some grain before we use the stamp. So let's go to grain, go with clump, maybe just regular or sprinkles. Let's see. So this is a little bit too much. think, well, this kind of does it, but this does it everywhere, and that's not what we want. Let's just go with a regular one. And yeah, as you can see, if we add some grain, we do get like some larger spots here and there. So that's how you do that without any actual textures. It makes sense. Are your streams uploaded to your channel afterwards? They are. For now, during the Creatober challenge, which is what we're working on for the whole month of October, you can just watch them back, and from that point onward, all of the live streams will be available to watch back if you are a patron. Okay, so I do like this effect. I am quite satisfied with everything, but just the tornado itself, it's still a little bit too clean. So maybe in Illustrator we can just distort it a little bit, roughen it up just a little bit. So this already helps. And I'm going to demonstrate that whole thing that I just showed you once more. So let's go and add an inner glow to this. And something that you can also do is just make it a little bit larger. You can just try to add some noise into the inner glow as well. That might also help. So let's just turn this into a smart object again. Go to filter gallery, and let's see what this looks like without the grain. Yeah, this already works without the grain. So yeah, if you want to add some inner glow beforehand, or you can just add the grain and stack the stamp filter on top of that, it's all possible. Okay, one more thing I want to see is what does this look like inverted. It's always good to check that out, and it's a little bit too much. So let's just grab everything together, and we don't want the background to be that color. So kind of dope, but not what we're looking for, I guess. By the way, were you the person recommending texture fabric? I love it. Yeah, yep, I am. If you do not have the budget to buy or make your own textures, I would heavily recommend texture fabric. So we have the composition here, and we kind of want to have like some of these spots going on, and something that you can do to kind of recreate that is, let's just grab a texture actually. But for this, we're gonna go with, see if we have something in the ink textures. So for example, we have this paint speckles texture. This is from the ink texture pack from Dreadlabs. Essentially, these are all like small speckles of paint that I made with a toothbrush, if I'm not mistaken. What I want to do is grab this. Let's just rasterize a layer. We're going to select all, copy it, and we'll make this layer invisible. And then we're going to go and click on the composition layer with the mask. I'm gonna hold Alt or Option on my keyboard, going in there, and if we paste it in, basically I now pasted that mask of the texture, and that's now the mask of our well, of our design, if you can see. And that's actually a really cool thing, because now we have those like paint speckles all over the place. So now you can see that it looks like this is actually copied, but then like there was just not enough ink to do like this final copy. And we can also just see if we can modify this. So this is the what's it called, the mask view again. We can just delete the paint speckles version, and with Command or Control M on our keyboard, we're going to bring up the curves menu, and we're going to add maybe a little bit of contrast here to just remove some of the smaller spots and make the largest. Yeah, see if this helps. Kind of does. What I also want to experiment with a little bit is if we make a ring curve, what that does. I think this actually does it a little bit better. So a little bit darker and a little bit less. And if you're not satisfied and if these speckles are a little bit too small, you can also just scale them up simply. So like this. and then you can of course see it a little bit better, and if you're not satisfied you can also just make them larger or darker or lighter, and I think something like this does it well. Let's see, this is with and this is without, so that just adds a little bit of detail in the larger black areas here. Okay, so now for the texturing. So something that works really well with these punk flyers is a photocopy texture. How long have we been streaming? Okay, we're right on schedule. So this is a photocopy texture. If you don't know what this photocopy if you do not know what a photocopy texture is, it's basically like you just, once you print something out, you get these like lines, and that's something that the printer does, and we're gonna use that effect to mimic as if this was printed by an actual printer. If this is rated to 2 shrooms somehow, not sure what you mean, so I don't think it is. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you. We pretty much have a design that's black and white only, and I'm gonna make sure of that. If we just add a threshold filter, you can actually see that that's almost the case. There are some very subtle gray values in here if we zoom in completely, but let me just explain to you how these textures work. So this is just the regular texture, and essentially we want to have the light values and dark values of the texture to make sure that those are visible on our poster while the design of the poster is still visible, if that makes sense. Sorry for the question, what is your mic? So the microphone I'm using is a Divine M mic, if that's... Yeah, I think it's called a Divine M mic, it's a really cheap one. Anyways, and also don't worry, you can all ask me questions if you want to in the chat. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Anyways, so in the photocopy texture, what we're gonna do is essentially, if we put this to multiply, you can see that the dark values are still visible, and if we put this to screen, you can see that the light values are still visible while it's actually being overlaid. So if we zoom in, you can see the texture visible on the dark parts of the image and not on the light parts. So essentially what we need to do is duplicate this layer once and then just change it to multiply. Oh, just a second, there's a package for me. Sorry about that. Anyways, getting back to it. Essentially, with the screen Photoshop, or with the screen texture, is what we're going to do is change the contrast, and if we make this lighter, as you can see, the texture will be lighter as well. So we essentially need this to be a little bit darker, so it's only visible on the darker spots of our design. I'm going to do the opposite with the multiply one, so we're going to make this one lighter. What Creatober word is it? Concrete hurricane. Those are just 2 words combined together, but I just figured they were just really cool as a punk band or something. Español? No hablo español. Sorry about that. I only know how to speak French a little bit and German. Glossy tape holding this flyer together would look sick. Like if it were too much to wear. Ooh, literally tape together. We're gonna try that actually. Okay, so let's just group all of this in one smart object. And we're gonna do, let's go to the Dreadlabs paper pack. Where is it? Wow, am I blind? Here it is, paperback volume 1, and this contains some tears, not like human tears, but paper tears. And if we grab one of those, what we can do is duplicate our duplicate the layer, make a selection of, well, let's just place the tear where we want it. So I think it might be cool to have one tear here, and then one tear maybe here. Okay, and let's just do a couple of copies, but for now, just make a selection like this, and then mask it out of the top tier. And looking at the mask, all we need is this part. We can just make that white as well. So now we just have one selection of the top part of our flyer. So we're going to do that once more with the bottom tier. There. I think it's pronounced there instead of tier, sorry. This song takes me back to the good old days on YouTube. Wow. Oh, yeah, the background music is actually from the YouTube audio library, so I'm not sure what you're hearing now, but it's from YouTube itself. So we'll do another mask. You can just delete the tier itself. And we'll just... Okay, we now have basically... wait, let's just do this. And then we'll just do drop shadow. Okay, so now these are, and now we can just change them just a little bit, like scaling them up ever so slightly and moving them. I love this idea. So I think it was Through the Looks. Yeah, you asked this, you suggested this, right? It was awesome. Yeah, 009 sound system. I'm pretty. Would they still have the what is it? The license for that? That would be pretty sick. So now we have a little bit of a thicker shadow and. I'll just add in some contrast, so because the mask has a couple of like these weird spots in between, but also not worry about that too much for now. Let's duplicate that layer style and then change the global light to remove that. So now we have some shadows in here, and now I think in the Dreadlabs goodie pack we still have some paint PNGs. So extras, stickers, no, tape. And these aren't the best quality because I made this quite some time ago, but let's see if this works. Yeah, they're kind of hard to see, but I mean that's the point of like transparent tape, I guess, right? But I might have, if I still had the scans for these, I would probably rescan them in. So instead of changing the blend mode to screen, what I'm gonna do is grab one of these. And instead of doing the blending with the blend mode, what I'm going to do is just remove all the darkness from this layer. Wow, that sounds like I'm doing like an exorcism, but yeah, I don't know. So basically now I'm gonna change it into a smart object and rasterize it. Or no, before I'm rasterizing it, let's just do a color overlay. Or maybe like a drop shadow. Drop shadow probably makes more sense, but still. Yeah, it's hard to see. Let's just see. Let's just compare the two. See what's better. I mean, it is better. It is a little bit better visible than this one, I guess. So again, changing this layer to this. I mean, you can just it's basically the same thing as doing this, right? Like, nah, not exactly, but anyways, I just copy this layer style to the other one. Changing them into smart objects and rasterizing them, because this Photoshop file is gonna be hella big already. I already know it. I haven't saved my Photoshop file. I need to do that right now. Okay, 7 and 8, I think. Concrete Hurricane. Love that name. Anyways, yeah, it's still hard to see, but I don't know. It's something, I guess. I might actually open up Crate and see if they have some tapes. I might have some of the tapes here. If you do not know, Crate is actually an awesome app where you can just drag and drop assets. So I think I'm also having some freebies on there, by the way. Oh, these are downloaded quite a couple of times, so that's good to see. Where I do recall seeing some tape stuff on here, not this kind of tape, but tape pack. Yeah, these are way better. So I just go and grab them for 1 credit, they download, drag and drop. So this, yeah, better than my goodie pack. So this was kind of cool. See if they also have a different color. Blue, green. Ooh, they have a lot. Ooh, I do like yellow tape, I think. So let's just do this one and this one. I did a sponsored video for Crate, but this isn't sponsored. This is just because I think it was the quickest and most convenient way in order to get some tape. Put fingerprints on the tape. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Sorry about that, but I actually have in the ink texture pack. I do have fingerprints. Okay, so it's getting a little bit overkill now, of course, but it's actually pretty dope. Wait, maybe the hand has like a very, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Wait, so I'm gonna invert the paint hand and then change the blend mode to screen, I think, and then have that fingerprint on like the letters or something, and just mask that out. Or should I put it on the tape? Let's just put it on the tape, like Cold Chinese said. So remove the invert and then have one fingerprinty on here. Just lower the opacity a little bit. And then do one more, but then on this one. And with that, people, I gotta say I'm pretty satisfied with the result of this poster. Probably my favorite Creatober work so far. I know this is only the third one, but really happy with this. Don't worry, we are not going to end off the stream yet because I have all night to work on another one. I'm just gonna take a little break, and then we are going to see if we can continue on Vampire and Tower. And maybe if we're really quick with that, we might get into Mushrooms and Katana, but I might also want to save that for later in the week. So with the Vampire Tower, I did have an idea on in order to, you know, like model an actual like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a Yu-Gi-Oh card or something, you know, like a field card or whatever. But of course that's going to be very hard to actually draw and stuff, so we might have to see if we can do like maybe some 3D, maybe like some Photoshop effects, and see if we can create something cool with that. But I thought it might be cool to try and make like a Yu-Gi-Oh card of that, if you guys are still interested in that. Anyways, if you have any ideas for the words Vampire and Tower, let me know down in the chat. I'm gonna take a quick little break, and in the meantime I want to have you guys brainstorm about what we're gonna do next. So see you in a bit. And for the people that tune in now, I'm just gonna go and put something in here like probably should have made like an actual screen for this, but anyways, I'll be back in just a second, people. In the meantime, let me know what you're gonna see for the second challenge. All right. The best of the, oh wow, they got back again. I use on this channel. It's a, well, it's not really a dating site now. All right, so yeah, how's everyone doing? Just had to grab a glass of water because my throat's getting a little bit dry after talking for almost 2 hours. So today's word is, we started with the words concrete and hurricane because they were actually part of last week's challenge. And let's see, we are going to try to continue on vampire and tower, and then the idea for that is basically see if we can create like a 3D thing and then put that on a Yu-Gi-Oh card. And then for, I don't think we will be able to get into mushrooms and katana today because it's already 8 p.m. almost where I live, and I don't want to make it too late today because I also have to work in the morning. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, let's just focus on vampire and tower for now, and we'll get to it. So we have Cinema 4D open. Let's just save all this up. By the way, just want to give you a quick reminder that if you want to get the project file for this, so every single thing that I made in this live stream and all of my other live streams and tutorials, you can get those by becoming a patron of the channel. And if you do not know, thanks to my patrons, I'm actually able to give you guys these live streams and videos for free, and you know, basically do Dreadlabs full time. So a huge shout out to my patrons. Again, if you want to get the project files for all of these streams, you can get them by becoming a patron yourself. Alright, let's get back to it. So the idea here is, I'm not sure if I actually have a reference material for this, but I just wanted to kind of wing it and try to make a try to sculpt like a tower with vampire-y wings, bat wings. Is that the idea? Maybe I should just sketch it first, because 3D might take a long time. Anyways, let's go back into print again. Let's make some space on my desk here and see if we can do this. For first, let me just sketch this out on paper. So again, and my camera lagged again. I mentioned my tablet and for some reason my camera starts lagging again. For some reason. Really weird. And yeah, just like that. There was no problem with the camera at all, and then for some reason it starts when I mention the laptop. Alright, let's just go back into sketch mode a little bit, I guess. Is it possible to see my stuff? This works surprisingly well, gotta say. Anyways, the idea here is that we have this tower. I'm only gonna draw one side of it, and then we'll see where it's we'll see where the ship strands, where the tower lands, or where the vampire fangs. Let yourself be consumed by the 80s anime gods, I believe in you. Bless. I hope this is visible. Wait, maybe I can zoom in even more. And then what I can do is also just light it up a little bit better. And then we can just change the camera to webcam only. Yeah, you cannot see the chat right now, but I hope that's okay for now, so we can just, you know. Oh wait, I actually think I have a webcam flipped somewhere. Is it the case? Webcam. Wait. Ha! This is awesome. I forgot that I did this once, but now you can actually see, well, almost see my camera flipped upside down. So that's a good thing, I guess. Anyways, I want to kind of have like like a bony structure, and then have like these, like that crosshatch shading thing. I never really got that right, so I want to kind of try that, see if that works. And I have like one middle section here. I'm also not like a professional illustrator or anything like that, so if people have tips for me or you know, like, let me know, because I would actually like it to become better at this. And you know, the cool part is I actually have an intern, Jen, and she's a very talented illustrator, so I should probably go and get her help if I want to do this for realsies. Not sure if you're watching, Jen, but shout out to you. Not sure if I want this to be like bony or organically, like the middle parts. Do you ever draw digitally? I do. I actually did draw digitally in the last live stream. I think that was last Thursday or something. For me, it helps trying out different styles. I kind of always stick to like the doodles that I do, and those are, yeah, they don't really have a very specific style of shading, but I don't know, they kind of work for me, but also, you know, they're fairly simple, so I'm not sure if I'm really happy with this, so I don't know. We'll do like a claw kind of thing. And then we want to do the second section. This is that kind of like the idea that I had in mind, and then go out a little bit. Oh, first time watching. Oh, that's okay, man. Thank you so much for tuning in, by the way. Are you also new to the channel, or is it just the first live stream you've watched? And then I kind of want to have this here. It's also nice for me to take a break from the screen for now, just because I've been watching my screen for the whole day, and then I started live streaming. So I've basically been here for 11 hours looking at a screen. And I know I had a couple of meetings in between today, but it's still quite a long time for just looking at a screen. So it's nice to do some stuff on paper every now and then, you know? Okay, so this is way too not organically, yeah, I guess. Like a larger claw. Maybe we should do like these things where they go broad and then go, they shrink in the middle and then they expand once you go down again. That looks more promising, I guess. Get a Cintiq if you don't really already have one. It makes illustrating a lot less daunting. Recent ones are pretty important. I used to work with a Wacom Intuos Draw, like those cheaper, smaller ones, and then Zenslab sent me a tablet. I think it's fairly similar to the Cintiq, but I used to do like a lot of drawing on the iPad, which kind of worked for me. So I've been trying a couple of different methods, but I gotta say I'm not sure which I prefer best, because the funny thing is I used to draw the most digital when I was using my Intuos, which is basically like the cheapest version tablet that I've owned. So it might just be me being nostalgic for that time, but I don't know. The iPad with Procreate works well, but I'm just not a fan of like the iPad screen. I tried like Paper-like, which is like the screen protector that's supposed to make your thing feel like paper, but I don't know, it doesn't really do it for me. And then what I kind of wanted to do here was okay, so we like this. And get like this bony structure thing. Also, no clue animating Procreating right now actually. Oh, nice. Send me your animation later if you want to. If you are on the Discord, I would love to see it actually. So I was thinking of doing like something like this and then just try to make this into wings, like vampire or bat wings or something. Anyways, sorry, you've been subscribed for a while. I've seen some videos here and there. Really like them. I know I've been streaming. Oh yeah, I used to stream back in like last year. I used to stream a lot, but I haven't been streaming for a while now. But that's because of an internet connection on my studio, a new studio. But that's fixed now, so we can actually get back to live streaming a lot, which is what I really enjoy, because it gives me like the time and opportunity to talk to you guys, and that's something that I really enjoy. So I have no clue if the shading is correct, because yeah, like I said, this is not something that I do a lot, but I don't know, seems vaguely okay, I guess. Where are you from? From the Netherlands. Welcome, Bamboo Gang. So I actually drew a little bit too big, I think, which now looking at it, well, maybe not, let's see. I kind of want to go one up here then, and then like this. Yeah, we don't have enough room for like the fang thing here, but we'll do that digitally, I think. Does this work? I hope so. Can you speak a little bit German? Ooh, I don't know a lot anymore, because I used to study it for like six years in high school, but it's been well almost 10 years since I've left high school, I think. So Ich möchte gern Deutsch sprechen. Is that a correct thing to say in German? Try make some small composition sketches next to each other on a piece of paper. Try not to focus too much on the details. That's a good tip. Thank you so much. Actually going to do that if I... Yeah, I probably should have done it up front, right? Because the idea is to have like this thing go like this and go out again. So the idea is to have like, where's the camera? Here? Oh wait, now it's like upside down again. So, wow, Tom, fixture stuff. This is the idea that I want, so. I can't, oh, it's almost getting there, I guess, and I guess the shading will be kind of off and stuff, but. We'll see guys, we'll see. But that's actually a really good tip to do. Thank you. Should have done that before. Let's see what this should look like in the middle, and I think we should just go in. And then do, I kind of like these, like the, okay, I think this is, oh my god, again, can this thing go away? Is this the same thing? If it's too long for the Yu-Gi-Oh card, you can make a part of it pop out. Ooh, like how Pokemon cards work. That's actually a really cool idea. Is the thing crashing again? The camera? No, right? Okay. All right. So let me see. I'm just gonna scan this in, and we'll get back to it. Traditional card of full. Oh wait, is that actually like a thing now? Like they have the pop out cards. I was just talking about the classic Yu-Gi-Oh card, but if you've seen it, it's one of my most viewed videos. Is actually the first live stream I did with Dreadlabs, where I did like a live stream where I custom made like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, which is really it was a really fun stream actually. So let's see if we can do something like that right now. But for now, let's just go back into the normal live stream view. I'm just gonna scan this in real quick, and then we'll get to designing the card. So that trash taste podcast thing, that's actually, I've heard that so many times now. I don't know which song it is, but and I also don't know what the trash taste podcast is, but it's kind of funny to hear it like a couple of times now. Let's download this scan, and just for the sake of it, me not being away for 10 minutes, I haven't really scanned it in at that high DPI, but I would always recommend to do that. Alright, so you guys are, it's a degenerate anime podcast, okay. So we'll see if we can flip it, and we'll put both of those to multiply. Surprisingly, it kind of works for how trashy my drawing skills are. Okay, we'll call this tower. Okay, and now what we want to do is do some coloring, I guess. First, what I'm going to do is do some adjustment layers here, so I just want this to be black and white, or at least almost. So if I put this to multiply and then draw underneath the color. I kind of want to experiment this a little bit, but okay, we'll see. We'll see. My name is Charlotte. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Charlotte. I'm Tom, if you don't know yet. Charlotte, you were from Belgium, I think, right? So it's Charlotte then, I think, right? Alright, so let's just move all of this away for a little bit, make some space again. And camera's down a little bit. It's just it's better, right? Nailed that pronunciation. So I actually I used to live 5 minutes from the Belgian border. So the way that, well, of course, like Flemish and Dutch are a different language. My Dutch is kind of close to well, it's closer to Flemish than to you know, like Northern Dutch, if that makes sense. Yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about. So, alright. I think I should just go and get to drawing. Just want to grab the base, go and get the base color first. So tend to do those with like the smoothing, so like that. It's crazy because your English sounds a lot more Dutch than Flemish, which is a good thing. Okay, so so the only reason when it makes sense to me that like a part of Belgium sounds French is because sometimes when I hear a Flemish person talk English, it has a little bit of a French undertone, if that makes sense. And I don't want to name anyone in specific because I don't want to make this sound offensive. I don't mean it in any offensive way, but yeah, that's just what it sounds like to me sometimes. That's how I can kind of tell the difference, if that makes sense. Again, I do not mean to be offensive towards Belgian people. I love it. Actually, Flemish is probably my favorite accent or language to hear, and not because it sounds similar to my own, but it's just for the people that do not know, Flemish and Dutch are basically almost the same language. It's to the point where we literally can understand each other, but we sometimes just have different words to it. I think it's very similar to how Spanish and Portuguese is, and you can you can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but essentially, if I have to explain it to someone who doesn't speak any of these languages, Flemish sounds like a cozy version of Dutch to me, personally, if that makes sense. And I think, I don't want to speak for Belgian people, but I think Dutch sounds like a rude version of Flemish. I'm not sure. Swiss and Germany, yeah, probably. And Austrian is also kind of it's not really German, because there are some things differently. I feel like my mom speaks Austrian very well, but she isn't really good at German for some reason. I'm not sure if that's a kind of similar thing, but I think it is. I think I could probably just do this thing faster, but I just like doing it. It's just a satisfying thing, and I like having some conversations with the chat. I can do that while doing this simpling coloring thing. Are there any people from Spain or Portugal or Brazil in the chat? Because I remember vaguely I used to have a classmate from Brazil a couple of years ago, and they were talking about how I think it's some word in Spanish, which is a random word, was something like pregnancy in Portuguese. It was a very big difference. I don't know. The Netherlands will never understood the power of words like goesting, and it makes me say, what does that mean? Tell me, because now I'm curious. There is one thing that the Dutch are very, very good at, but it's not necessarily a good thing, but we probably have the most swearing words, and we can swear with anything. We have no filter. But you don't know? No. What is that? It sounds like a bird, but it's probably not a bird. It's bird species. What is it? Enlighten me. It's impossible to explain. Is it more of a mindset, or is it? Try to explain. Explain it to me like I'm not even I cannot even understand anything related to Dutch or Flemish. It's like trek, but not only in the so you're feeling like having food or something, or it's a So it's different than when Dutch people say ik heb zin. That sounds wrong if you're Dutch, but you can say like ik heb zin in chips, which means like I feel like having chips. But I don't know. You can also use it for other stuff, I guess. Have a really intense. I think. Yeah, like drang hebben. I'm not sure if you have that in Flemish. Ik heb drang naar iets. Dat is, I don't know if that's actual Dutch. No clue. Also using the, okay, yeah, okay, I know what you I get it then. But it's so that word is a way of living then, okay. Okay, sooner or later I gotta do like smudging. I go to smudging this and shading, I guess, a little bit. But we have drang in German also. Is it like when you have when you're oh, it's like craving, I guess. Craving, is that the right word? Kind of, or like a good sense of good like comparison. I hope so. Do you use it in the same sentence as in ich habe drang? It's an old word that people don't really. Ah, okay. Oh, now I feel like going back to Berlin. It's been 2-3 years already since I've been there, but I miss it so much. It's probably the coolest city I've ever been to. It's Zin, subscribing. You have now unlocked the secret living life as a Belgian. Do with it what you will. Okay, so I have another question. So last summer I was at Pukkelpop in Hasselt, I think, and there I discovered that you also have a province named Limburg. But I think there is something with the province Limburg in Belgium, which is... It's almost like a meme, I feel like. Because I'm not sure what the joke is, but I feel like everyone's using it as a meme. Like, if you're a person from Limburg or something like that. And I have no idea what that... Tell me the secrets about Limburg, because we have a Dutch Limburg and it also, well, it's not a meme, but it's also just like a province. But I think it's different than in Belgium. Also, I am kind of not sure if this is going to work out. But have you been in Asia? I'm in Seoul actually. Oh, so you're German, but you are in Seoul. That's super cool. I never been there actually, but I would love to go there sometime. And now that Japan has opened back up, I would love to go there, but I'm a little bit scared that it's gonna be too overly crowded with tourists and stuff. So I might want to take my time on that, but we'll see. The joke about Limburg is that they sing West Flemish people are okay. So people from the Dutch Limburg are the same, but I don't want to make too many jokes about them because one of my friends who's also working with me in the office is also from Limburg. Wrong color. You're studying there. Japan is amazing too, of course. Back as full time. Ooh, sick. So I remember a little bit of Seoul when someone I knew was there for like for a business trip, and there was like this huge like vintage clothing market, and only thing I remember was like I want to be there. I want to go there. It was supposedly one of the sickest vintage markets in the world, or something like that. They just imported it all from like old school American stuff, and it's supposed to be the bomb. Imagine being me and having a Limburg mom and a West Flanders dad, and me being from Antwerp. Also, nice city. Love Antwerp. Been there a couple of times now, and I feel like it's one of those cities where, yeah, you just need to come back to, because it's always like ever changing and ever having more cool stuff, right? And supposedly Ghent is also a very nice city in Belgium, but I've never been. I should probably go sometime. And what I'm also gonna is my brush actually changing with pen pressure? It is. Okay. Good job, brush. I know a street like that. Holidays are a nightmare. Is it street or building? I think it's like a building, but it was like really large. But I don't really like talk to the person that was there anymore, so I cannot really ask anymore, I guess. Get off YouTube, come on. Third or fourth time now, something like that. Imagine if there wasn't a bot and that's actually just a person. And this is kind of getting a little bit boring, so I might just want to leave the sketch and add filters on top of it so that it's starting to look a little bit better, and then just go into what is it, designing the actual card, because yeah, I'm not an illustrator, so it's kind of boring watching someone illustrate. I feel like that's not an actual illustrator. Bones need to articulate for flapping and folding. That is a sentence that I've never heard before, and it's probably a sentence that I will never actually hear again, so thank you for that. What? Is it a reference to something, or? Love Utrecht a lot. It's really nice, very relaxed compared to Antwerp. Utrecht is also a really nice city. Just I was there like a couple of weeks ago. I've been there twice in the last month, actually, I think. It's a really nice city as well. But I gotta say, might be a little bit biased, but Tilburg is actually one of the Netherlands' hidden gems. People who say that it's an ugly city have never really explored the city itself. It's very nice. There's a very cool creative initiatives going on here, and it deserves a little bit more recognition. So if you're ever in the Netherlands, I would highly recommend going and visit Tilburg. Also, you can drop by the office and have a coffee with me. I think it means it doesn't look like actually moves this way. Oh, like I thought. Yeah, that makes sense. Now looking at it, it's kind of like a bone color, but originally the idea was to have this make it like either like a slimy thing instead of like a bone thing, but yeah, somewhere down the line I kind of changed it. So yeah, that makes sense, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you with that, but I just thought it was a really funny sentence. Also, of course, it's about like a drawing. Like I'm an idiot. Maybe some veins for detail. Yeah, I would love to improve the actual illustration as well, but given the time, like we have an hour and a half left, and I kind of want to get into designing the actual card, so I might want to like do some, I don't know, rush the actual illustration itself. If you guys are okay with that. Man, we'll just merge. Oh wait, can I not merge this down? And now I like this brush, but it's maybe a little bit too large. It's way too large. Also be cool as a D&D Katsu design. Yeah. It kind of looks like the concept art because it's so sketch-like, right? Are there any people in the chat actually like into Yu-Gi-Oh as it is now? Because I used to be like really into Yu-Gi-Oh back like when I was a kid, and I'm still like into that card game, but it has changed so much over the years that I've never really been able to keep up, if that makes sense. Like with the synchro monsters and the like the new things, and kind of like I don't really recall what they were called, but like where all those things, like, and I heard like in the anime they're actually like playing the card game on motorcycles now or something, and that's cool. But like I'm from the old school stuff, so I only know the game of that. So, but I remember collecting, but not knowing how to play. And I used to be kind of like a mean. Well, yeah, it was kind of mean actually. Like I used to pretend I could read English when I was like in school when I was younger, and what I used to do is I used to pretend I could read English, fake effects on cards so I could trade them for actual rare cards. Isn't card games on motorcycles a huge meme? I'm not sure. Could be. Kind of rain. Yeah, there was a 7-colored fish, I think it's called. And there was also fake fan. Yeah, so basically how people scammed you, that's how I was. Sorry, man. So let's see what happens if we do this, because now this kind of looks Yu-Gi-Oh-y. Kind of, I don't know. Okay. So let's just make an abstract background. Oh, we still have a white background. Of course, of course. I've had so many of these fish and then thought they were worthless. Wow, I actually feel bad for you, man. Sorry, but real cheese. You're right. I remember there was this. Yeah. I at some point I just started using my mom's printer and printed out like cards from Google. Like I googled the cards, put them in Word, made sure that the size was correct, and then just printed them out and pasted them on top. And you could immediately tell the difference, but it was just really funny because apparently no one. Well, some people actually bought it. Like that was actually like a. Yeah, it was weird. Let me see. It's supposed to be in here. Filter, render clouds. Then we are going to do a distortion with a twirl. It's already what the back of a Yu-Gi-Oh card looks like, but let's duplicate that. Go to distort again, and then go to, no, not to distort, blur, radial blur, and zoom. See what if we can make some interesting blend modes. This does look promising, so let's just merge this down. We'll blur the hell out of this because we need more than just black and white values. Let's just duplicate it and blur it then. We need more blur. Actually, I'm going to do this in a different way. I'm going to go with a field blur. No, actually with a tilt shift, perhaps that's easier. And what's a spin blur? Ooh, that's cool. Can we do that inversed? Path blur. Iris blur. What's an iris blur? I don't know what it exactly does, but it works for me, I feel like. It's, then do another Gaussian blur. Wasting no time using mobile fonts. No, not this. Does this look pretty okay? I guess we'll merge this down. Let's do some more stuff with it. So I kind of want to go and see what happens if we add some noise in here. We'll pixelate it first, just a little bit, maybe like this. Then add noise, and then we'll do the pinch filter, and we'll pinch it this way. And now we'll see if the filter gallery has some cool stuff to do with it. just stack a couple of filters on top of each other. What's still here? Okay. So let's just see if we can blend these a little bit. Kind of like this, and then we'll merge these. Okay, so now we want to do a gradient map. Maybe with like a darker green and maybe like a very dark blue or purple. See, you're telling me my rare dimly lit wizard girl isn't real. Okay, let's make like a nice dimly lit background then. All in the shadow realm right now. Okay, so rasterize layer. See if we need to blur this a little bit. If that even works. Doesn't really. What would you say is the software you're best at? Ooh, that's a good question. I would say either Illustrator or Photoshop, I think. Because that's just what I've been doing Photoshop longer than Illustrator, but yeah, it's just both of these I can just do for a very long time without like getting bored. So like stuff like this, like experimenting with filter galleries and stuff like that, that's just really something that I really find interesting, and that's how I learn most of the stuff that I learn now. However, I don't think these backgrounds work together that well. So let's see what we should do here. I'm gonna take a look at some references. So what's that card called? I think it's very Chaos Sorcerer, that's the card that I had in mind. Yeah, these cards are way more detailed, of course. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make a selection of the tower. I'm going to make a new layer. And what I'm going to do is make sure that the whole layer is filled with white, including these parts. So let's just do that real quick with the tablet. And why is it still not 100% opaque? Oh, because my color is not. Hello? Okay. So what I'm going to do here is basically see if we can make some background colors and flashes and stuff based on the shape around like our render or our illustration. Something that I really am noticing though is that doing illustrations for Creatober while I'm live streaming instead of like recording don't tend to work that well. And that's just because for illustration I just want to take a little bit more time and do this. You know, like the last year I did an illustration for Creatober and it took me, I think, about 5 hours. Yeah, the total recording was 5 hours and I wasn't satisfied with the illustration as well. So I think I might have to keep doing the illustrations for myself instead of doing it like for Creatober. Does that make sense? Are they back again? Come on. For me, it's Illustrator tool. Says almost nothing has improved over the last year feature-wise. I think you're right. And something that's kind of frustrating as well is, okay. Something that I have been noticing is that there's a company called Astute Graphics, and they have been making some really nice plugins for Illustrator. And they have features that I think Illustrator should have from the get-go, and it would be really cool to see Adobe, you know, try to I don't say put this plugin company out of business, because that's obviously not what I would, that's not fair or something, but yeah, it's definitely something that Adobe should look into because they have some really cool ideas. Maybe Adobe can buy them or something. I used to have a lot of their plugins, but then it became subscription based and I just don't have the budget to do subscription based stuff. Just for Illustrator, sadly. But yeah, that was really cool. So let's just rasterize this. Have you seen this one Yu-Gi-Oh sense? What? No. I've seen videos about how like the Japanese version is kind of censored and stuff, but I haven't seen that one. But damn, Yugi boy. Yugi boy. Oh, no, let's just distort this gradient a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is this. And distort it with the waves. Yo, what's up, Faru? How are you doing, man? Okay, so now it's kind of distorted, so we can use it as a background in the tower, but then the colors are kind of off, so let's just see if we can put like a gradient map on top of that or something. I don't know, this isn't working, it's not doing it for me, this illustration and stuff. So what I kind of want to do is, I don't know, it's part of me that wants to do the whole car, but I'm also like kind of empty, just because this is the second one, so yeah, I'm not sure. Should have probably just done the whole nah, this isn't working. It's just not it. I guess what we can do is try to at least do something creative with it. So what I want to do is see if we can experimenting with the whole thing itself, like the whole design itself. So for example, group this and then just start to experiment with this, because and then just skip the whole Yu-Gi-Oh card idea. I would love to do that, but it's honestly also not the first time that I've done that. I've done that in another in my first live stream I did a Yu-Gi-Oh card, then I did a Pokemon card in the first Creatober, and in the second Creatober I did Raigeki as a card. So maybe just, I don't know, it's maybe for now we'll just leave it. So this is also something that could be interesting. And now going back into this, I might be interested in seeing what this looks like right now. This kind of works. So maybe we do some cool typography and then Vampire Tower. We'll do the typography in Illustrator. We haven't touched Illustrator in a while. You found it? Send it to me in Discord if you want to. Are you on the Discord? Vampire and Tower. Let's center this and do okay, so I want to do this one as the background, and then this typography is done by, I'm getting Akira vibes from this. Wow, I actually really like this. Okay, so this background type is by Hyde, and I would heavily advise you to check them out because they have a lot of really cool fonts. So shout out Hyde, the Hyde type foundry. But I'm not on Discord yet. Is it in the video description? It's supposed to be, yeah. Hide, like the first one, like hide your kids and hide your wife. No, just kidding. But yeah, that's what it's that's how it's spelled. Maybe invert this, and then. Okay, I kind of like where this is going, so let's just keep that ball rolling and explore what the world of Unsplash has to offer when we type in the word vampire. We get a moon, a red moon, that's okay. We get someone who thinks he's in Twilight, and then we can also do. Nah, I just want to say I want to use Midjourney at some point, but I don't want to do it now. Let's just grab this mister over here, and we'll put him into the front. And what I'm gonna do is get into the liquify. This is not his smile. No, I'm not gonna do liquify. I'm gonna do puppet warp, I think. So where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Puppet warp. We're gonna do the mode. More points. So now he has like a pointy teeth thing. Yay. We'll invert his face and then we'll do some filter gallery stuff. And then I also remove the puppet warp and go back into it and do it with the liquify tool, because that would have been a way better idea. Good to anyways, can you see I'm getting a little bit tired? Ooh, this is cool, but okay, wait. Added you in Discord because it's not letting me send you a name. Oh, that's okay. Now he has like a vampire tooth. Yeah. Kinda. Wait. And now we do all of these things on top of it as well. And this works way better. Nice. Okay, cool. It's 4 AM here, damn. Going to sleep. It was a live watching stream. Thank you so much, B. Bye. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, I'm glad to have you here on the stream. Hopefully see you next time. So now I want to remove the white color, and we can just rasterize this. Oh wait, turn this into a small object and then rasterize it. I don't really see it, that's unfortunate, so let's just do it like this. But then, okay, so we shouldn't have been inverting him in the first place, I think. So let's just have him like this. At some point, like this is when this is some, like at this point I'm just like confused, because this is the same when someone's like telling me like, or you're not supposed to be doing this, you know, like it's wait. I'm just confused. We need to have his face like this. So okay, so we now have his face in black. Okay. I think I know what to do. So let's go to this original face of his. Let's select the subject. Then we'll mask this out like that, and we'll just do a threshold on the selection. It's a harsh selection. Okay, so now I want to kind of have this. Well, let's make a duplicate first, then rasterize the whole damn thing. Okay, so we have a black and white layer, and if we lighten this, okay, so this is what I wanted, I think. And what I wanted to do is, if we go and do an inner glow, well, we make the inner glow black, and normal, go to normal, to the edge. We'll remove the noise. group this and put it as a screen, then it's fading. That's good. Then we'll add a noise to the whole thing. And now we put this in a threshold. Okay, yeah. Maybe this is just better. Yeah, this works better. Okay, so let's duplicate my guy over here. And something else that I want to be doing is, where is the typography? It's this one. Let's give this an outer glow. Like that. Okay. I'm actually quite happy with this. Let's see if we can do some dope textures over it or something like that. And we'll call this a day. Looking fire. Thanks, Jason. Do you have any hot takes on design? Hot takes? What do you mean by that? That's a Stephen King cover. Really cool. Thank you. Color design. So I don't want to give up on this yet. Maybe we'll chat person go away. How about weaving the background text? Sorry. How about weaving the background text through the front one? Can't really see the back font. Maybe it will take too long now. An illustrated vampire inside the sillage? What's the sillage? So I'm just going to duplicate this and then go to blur and do a motion blur like this. Oh wow, now you can actually see the actual face. It's actually pretty interesting, but damn, this is actually pretty interesting. What's happening here? Whoa, wait, what was that? This reminds me of an Aphex Twin cover because of the vampire thing. Okay, I like where we're getting at. It's kind of unfortunate that we are losing the detail of the faces, but I don't know. For now, let's see what happens if we add some noise to this and then put it like to overlay or something. Why is it not? Okay, so I think we need to do, okay, this makes more sense. It almost looks dated. Yeah, for some reason it does. Like pixel sorting or something. Like something like that's going on. And let's see what happens if we just play with the contrast. So we'll add some noise to this mask then, I guess. This looks like a book 14-year-old edgy me would have read. I'll take that as a compliment. Let's see if we need to do the texturing on the white colors. Gotta say, not the way I expected things to turn, but I kinda like it. I like it more than the Yu-Gi-Oh card, that's for sure. So we'll have 9 and 10 then? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Vampire Tower. Drawing looks amazing, dude. It really works. Thank you so much. It's actually all... you know what key is? Just be a shitty illustrator and then just use a lot of Photoshop filters. Anyways, it's been 3 hours now, and I'm kind of satisfied with where I am. Let's grab the other result as well. The concrete hurricane flyer. And we'll have those set up next to each other. No, come back. Alright, so the end results of today's stream. We kind of we made some progress. We're still not at the 11th of October, but well, we're getting there. But yeah, I'm getting really tired now. I'm not made to work for 12 hours. So I'm just gonna end it off right here. For everyone in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in. A huge shout out to yourself. It means a lot that you've been sticking around with me, trying to make some designs, and I hope it has given you some inspiration or you had a good time. And I just want to say one more time that if you want to get the project files for these, you can get them by becoming a patron of mine. And if you become a patron, you'll also get access to a 15% discount in my asset web store, as well as all of the project files from all of my tutorials, even some exclusive tutorials if you're into that. Let's see what else is there. And if you want to join and continue the conversation with other people, I would suggest you can join us on Discord. And if you become a patron, you'll also get an exclusive Discord role as a Dreadlabs insider or an inner core member. Something to consider. If you do not have the budget to support Dreadlabs, that's also completely fine, of course. You can also just leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe if you haven't already, or share this video with people that also might be interested in joining the Dreadlabs community. Because this way it actually makes me be able to do Dreadlabs full time, and keeping this as my full-time job, giving you guys a weekly video for free in the process. So, with all of that out of the way, this is Tom from Dreadlabs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And with all of that being said, and yeah, I already said that. Getting tired. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully see you somewhere in the coming week with the next Creatober stream. Peace!